The galactic year 7329 marked the fourth cycle since humans had burst onto the interstellar scene. Most established species viewed them with a mixture of fear and fascination. Humans had done what few emerging species managed. They won their first space conflict despite being technologically outmatched. The meeting chamber of the Keldari flagship Eternal Dominion hummed with the soft whir of life support systems. 4 beings stood before High Commander Zex Talos, each from a different corner of the galaxy, each among the most deadly hunters in charted space. "Your reputation precedes you, Void Talons," said Commander Zex Talos, his crystalline skin catching the light as he moved. "The Council has a problem that requires your particular talents." Krazak, the reptilian leader of the bounty hunters, flicked his forked tongue. His scales shifted from deep green to a cautious blue. "The Void Talons do not come cheap, especially for government work." 5 billion credits, Zex Talos said flatly, plus exclusive hunting rights in the Centauri sector for 10 cycles. The 4 bounty hunters exchanged quick glances. Even for them, this was an astronomical sum. Vexalia, the insectoid member of the group, clicked her mandibles together. What exactly does the mighty Galactic Council fear so much that they offer such payment? The commander waved his hand and a holographic display appeared in the center of the room. It showed a mid-sized vessel with Horizon's Edge emblazoned on its hull. "Humans," the commander hissed, the word itself seeming to disgust him. "This research vessel has ventured far beyond their authorized sectors. They've discovered something. Something that could upset the balance of power." Drogmar, the living rock creature whose silicon body made soft grinding sounds when he moved, spoke in a deep rumble. "Humans are soft, fragile. Why not simply eliminate them?" The commander's eyes narrowed. "Diplomatic complications. The containment protocol we established after their unexpected victory in the border skirmish requires a certain delicacy. We need them captured, not killed, with their discovery secured." Zorlin, the gelatinous member of the group, shifted form slightly, creating a small appendage to stroke its featureless face in what it had learned was a thoughtful gesture. "What exactly did they discover?" "Ancient technology, pre-council era." "The details are irrelevant to your task," Zex Talos said dismissively. "What matters is that it cannot remain in human hands. Their expansionist tendencies make them unpredictable, dangerous." Krazak stepped forward. "Show us the targets." 5 human faces appeared in the hologram. "Captain Samantha Reeves," the commander said. "Former Earth military. Their leader." The image showed a human female with short brown hair and eyes that seemed to analyze everything they saw. Dr. Alan Parker, their science officer. He specializes in alien biology. The hologram shifted to a thin male with glasses and an excited expression. Vincent Ortiz, chief engineer. He's kept their ship running despite 3 attempts to disable it through accidental means. This human had darker skin and strong hands covered in tool marks. Kelly Adams, security, former special forces. She's killed 2 Bracken assassins with her bare hands. The female had her hair pulled back tightly and stood with perfect posture. And finally, Peter Donovan, communications specialist. He's mastered 12 alien languages in under 2 Earth years. The last human appeared younger than the others with a friendly face that seemed somehow trustworthy. These 5 have been careful, but our intelligence suggests they're heading to the Nixtari system, to an unmapped planet in the outer orbit. You'll intercept them there. Krazak studied the faces. Humans all looked somewhat alike to him, but he noted the distinctive features of each target. "Any special requirements for the capture?" "They must be taken alive and relatively unharmed, and the ship's data core must be secured intact. Beyond that, your methods are your own." Vexalia's antennae twitched with curiosity. "Why these humans?" "Specifically, your empire spans thousands of systems. Surely you could spare a battle cruiser." The commander's crystalline face hardened. "Do not question the Council's methods. These humans have seen something they shouldn't have, something that could change perceptions across the galaxy. Will you take the contract or not?" Krazak looked to his team. Each gave a subtle sign of agreement. "We accept the contract," Krazak said. "Transfer half the payment now, half upon delivery." "Agreed," said the commander. "You have 15 standard cycles to complete the mission." As the bounty hunters left the Keldari flagship, they moved silently through the docking bay to their own vessel, the Silent Claw. Once aboard, Drogmar was the first to speak. 5 billion credits for 5 soft humans. Something doesn't add up. Zorlan's body rippled in agreement. The commander was hiding something. I could sense his biorhythms fluctuating when he mentioned the ancient technology. Whatever the humans found, the Keldari are terrified of it, Vexillia said, checking her natural blade-like arms for sharpness. "Perhaps we should find out what it is before we hand it over." Krazak moved to the pilot's seat. "First, we find the humans. Then we decide what to do with them and their discovery." The Silent Claw detached from the Keldari ship and jumped to hyperspace, its destination set for the Nixtari system. Meanwhile, aboard the Horizon's Edge, Captain Samantha Reeves stood on the bridge, looking out at the stars. "Captain," called Engineer Ortiz from his station. "I've detected an unusual energy signature in our wake. I think someone's tracking us." Samantha wasn't surprised. "How long have we been followed, based on these readings, since we left the Proxima outpost?" "They're good, almost undetectable." Dr. Parker looked up from his research terminal. "Should we be concerned?" "Always," Samantha said calmly. "But we need to reach Nixtari 9. What we found in those ruins is too important." Security Officer Adams joined them. "I can prepare countermeasures. Whoever they are, they'll have a fight on their hands." "No," Samantha said firmly. "We're not soldiers anymore, Kelly. We're explorers. And what we've discovered might change everything, not just for humanity, but for every species in the galaxy." Peter Donovan looked up from the ancient text he was translating. "If I'm reading this correctly, Captain, what we've found isn't a weapon at all. It's a record. A biological archive containing the true history of several species, including the Keldari. And that," Samantha said quietly, "is exactly why they want to stop us. The truth can be more dangerous than any weapon." As the Horizon's Edge continued its journey toward the unmapped planet, neither its crew nor the bounty hunters pursuing them realized how their encounter would forever change the course of galactic history. The planet Nixtari 9 hung in space like a blue-green jewel. From orbit it looked peaceful, with vast oceans and 2 small continents. The Silent Claw settled into a hidden position behind one of the planet's 3 moons. Sensors focused on the human ship that had landed 2 days earlier. "They've set up a base camp near the northern forest," Vexillia reported, her compound eyes processing the surveillance data. 5 structures, basic perimeter sensors, but nothing that would detect us." Krazak studied the holographic display showing the humans moving around their camp. "What are they doing?" Zorlan shifted part of its gelatinous form into a viewing appendage. "They appear to be helping the native life forms. Look." The display zoomed in to show Dr. Parker and Engineer Ortiz working with several tall, slender beings with iridescent skin. The natives were clearly ill, their normally bright skin dull and patchy. "These locals are suffering from some kind of parasite," Drogmar noted, his rocky fingers pointing to dark spots visible on the natives' skin. "The humans are treating them." Krazak frowned. This wasn't what he expected. The Keldari said nothing about indigenous life, especially intelligent species. "The Keldari said nothing about many things," Vexillia replied. "These natives appear pre-spaceflight but clearly intelligent. They should be under council protection." They watched as Captain Samantha administered medicine to a young native while speaking softly. Even from a distance, her gentle care was evident. "This changes nothing," Krazak decided after a moment. "We have a contract. We observe for 1 more day, then we move at nightfall. Standard capture procedure." The bounty hunters prepared their equipment, each checking their specialized gear. Vexillia sharpened her natural blade arms. Drogmar tested his reinforced restraints. Zorlan practiced shifting into forms that would be useful for infiltration. Krazak loaded neural suppressors into his wrist launcher. As night fell on the planet surface, the four hunters descended silently through the atmosphere in a small stealth pod. They landed 3 kilometers from the human camp and approached on foot, each using their natural abilities to move undetected through the alien forest. "Something's wrong," Vexilia whispered as they neared the camp. "Listen." The night was filled with high-pitched wailing sounds. As they crept closer, they saw dozens of natives gathered at the human camp. Many were lying on makeshift beds, while others were bringing in more sick individuals. "The parasitic infection is spreading," Drogmar observed. "It appears to be an outbreak." Through their scopes, they could see the human crew working tirelessly. Dr. Parker was examining samples under a portable microscope. Captain Samantha and Officer Adams were treating the most serious cases. Donovan was communicating with the native elders, his hands moving in elaborate gestures to supplement his limited knowledge of their language. Ortiz was rigging equipment to purify water supplies. "We should wait," Zorlan suggested. Capturing them now would cause panic among the natives. Krazak was about to agree when a terrifying screech tore through the night. From the forest emerged a swarm of flying creatures, each the size of a small dog, with razor-sharp proboscises. Designed for piercing flesh. Those must be the parasites in adult form, Vexilia realized. They're attacking. The human camp erupted into activity. Officer Adams and Captain Samantha grabbed weapons and formed a defensive line. Dr. Parker rushed to move the weakest patients into shelters. Donovan directed the able-bodied natives to safety, while Ortiz activated an ultrasonic device that seemed to confuse some of the creatures. Without discussion, Krazak made a decision. Change of plans. Vexilia, left flank. Drogmar, right. Zorlan, infiltrate and assess. We'll contain the swarm first, then deal with the humans. The bounty hunters moved with practiced efficiency. Vexilia's natural speed and blade arms sliced through dozens of parasites. Drogmar's stone body was impervious to their stingers, allowing him to smash them with powerful blows. Zorlan flowed between shapes, trapping and crushing the creatures. In the chaos, Dr. Parker became separated from the others. A group of parasites descended toward him as he shielded a young native with his own body. Vexilia, seeing this, leapt from the shadows and cut down the attackers with a precise sweep of her blade arm. Dr. Parker looked up in shock at the insectoid hunter. For a moment, they stared at each other, predator and prey in an unexpected situation. "Thank you," Parker said simply, then immediately turned back to the young native. "This one needs antihistamine now." Vexilia watched in confusion as the human, despite knowing he was a target, focused entirely on saving the alien child. It was not behavior she understood. The battle lasted nearly an hour before the swarm retreated. The bounty hunters regrouped at their predetermined location in the forest. "We've been compromised," Krazak stated. "Vexilia's identity is known. To the humans now." "I had no choice," Vexilia defended. "The human would have died." "And why does that matter?" Drogmar asked. "Our mission is to capture them, not protect them." Zorlan, who had infiltrated the camp during the chaos, reformed into its normal shape. "There's more happening here than we were told. The humans have discovered that these parasites were artificially introduced to this planet. They believe it was a deliberate attempt to wipe out the native population." Krazak's scales shifted to a troubled purple color. "Why would anyone target these pre-spaceflight natives?" "Because of what's underneath their village," Zorlan continued. "The humans have found an entrance to an ancient facility, the same one that contains the technology the Keldari are so desperate to acquire." The four hunters fell silent, each considering the implications. "We should proceed with the capture," Drogmar finally said. "Whatever secrets exist here are not our concern. We have a contract." "A contract based on lies," Vexilia countered. "The Keldari said nothing about endangered natives or biological weapons." Krazak looked back toward the human camp where Captain Samantha was now approaching cautiously, following their tracks. "They know we're here now," he said. "And they're not running. Interesting." In the camp, Officer Adams was securing the perimeter while Dr. Parker continued treating patients. Donovan and Ortiz were discussing something intensely over a holographic display of the ancient facility beneath the village. "I don't care who they are," they overheard Captain Samantha say to her crew. "If they helped fight the swarm, maybe they'll help us stop whoever is behind this attack. These people will die without our help, and we need to find out what's in that facility." The hunters watched as the brave human captain ventured alone into the dark forest, following their trail, armed with nothing but a small sidearm and an extraordinary courage that none of them had expected. Captain Samantha Reeves moved carefully through the dark forest, following the strange tracks. She knew it was risky to approach unknown aliens alone, but her gut told her these weren't ordinary hunters. They had helped during the parasite attack instead of using the chaos to capture her crew. "I know you're out there," she called out, keeping her voice steady. "I just want to talk." From the shadows, Krazak watched the human female. In his long career, he had hunted thousands of beings. Most ran away. None had ever walked toward danger, voluntarily. "Your friend saved my scientist," Samantha continued. "That doesn't seem like the action of someone sent to harm us." Krazak gave a small signal, and the 4 bounty hunters emerged from their hiding spots surrounding the human captain. To her credit, she didn't flinch, though her hand stayed near her weapon. "You are correct," Krazak said, his reptilian voice low and rumbling. "If we wanted to harm you, you would already be dead." Samantha nodded. "I'm Captain Samantha Reeves of the Earth research vessel Horizon's Edge. And you are?" "We are the Void Talons," Krazak replied. "I am Krazak. These are Vexlia, Drogmar, and Zorlan, the bounty hunters," Samantha said, surprising them with her knowledge. "Your reputation reaches even Earth space. The question is, who hired you and why?" Before Krazak could answer, a terrifying screech echoed through the forest, much louder than before. The ground beneath them trembled. "We should continue this discussion elsewhere," Vexilla suggested, her antennae twitching nervously. They rushed back toward the human camp, where chaos had erupted again. This time, a massive creature, clearly the parasite queen, had emerged from underground. It was the size of a small shuttle with dozens of whipping tentacles and a gaping maw filled with needle-like teeth. "Get everyone into the cave entrance." Officer Adams was shouting, firing her weapon at the monster. The shots barely seemed to annoy it. Dr. Parker and Peter Donovan were helping natives into the ancient facility entrance they'd uncovered, while Engineer Ortiz worked frantically to reinforce the door mechanism. "Captain," Adams called when she spotted Samantha with the alien bounty hunters. "We've got company." "They're not hostile," Samantha explained quickly. "At least not right now. We have bigger problems." The parasite queen's tentacles smashed the research equipment and scattered the remaining supplies. One tentacle swept toward Drogmar, who couldn't move quickly enough due to his stone body. Without hesitation, Samantha lunged forward, pushing the massive alien out of the way and taking the blow herself. She was thrown several meters, landing hard against a tree. Krazak stared in disbelief. The human had risked her life for Drogmar, a being she'd just met and who had been sent to capture her. "Get inside the facility," Adams shouted to everyone. "We can seal the doors." The bounty hunters helped the humans and remaining natives into the ancient structure. Engineer Ortiz worked with Zorlan to operate the 1,000-year-old door mechanism, sealing them inside just as the parasite queen slammed against the entrance. Inside, the air was stale but breathable. Strange lights activated automatically as they moved deeper, illuminating a vast complex of alien technology. Dr. Parker tended to Samantha's injuries while the others secured their new refuge. "3 broken ribs, but you'll live, Captain," he reported. "Why did you do that?" Drogmar asked Samantha, his rocky face showing confusion. "You could have died protecting me." Samantha winced as Parker wrapped her ribs. "Because that's what humans do. We help each other, regardless of species." Krazak approached. "The Galactic Council told us that humans are dangerous expansionists who must be contained. Yet you risk your lives for pre-space flight natives and even for those sent to capture you." "The Council doesn't know us very well," Samantha replied. "Now are you going to tell me who hired you?" "The Keldari Empire," Krazak admitted. "They want you and your crew captured. They want whatever you found in this facility." Peter Donovan joined them, his translator device working to decipher the ancient symbols on the walls. "I bet they do," he said grimly, "because this facility contains the truth about their origins." Deeper in the complex, they found a massive chamber with a central platform. When Engineer Ortiz accidentally touched a control panel, the room came alive with holographic displays showing DNA sequences and evolutionary paths of dozens of species. "This isn't a weapon," Dr. Parker explained, excitement overcoming his exhaustion. "It's a biological archive. It contains the genetic history of nearly every intelligent species in the galaxy, including extinct ones, including the Keldari," Donovan added, studying the symbols. "According to these records, they weren't naturally evolved. They were engineered as a servant species by the civilization that built this place." The bounty hunters exchanged shocked looks. "The Keldari claim to be the oldest naturally evolved species in the Council," Vexillia said. "Their entire empire is built on the belief that they are superior because of their pure evolution." This would destroy their standing in the Council, Zorlan realized, and explain why they were so desperate to hire us. A loud bang echoed through the facility. The parasite queen was still trying to break through the entrance. "We need a plan," Officer Adams said. "That thing isn't giving up and we can't stay here forever." Krazak turned to his fellow hunters. "Our contract has been invalidated by Keldari deception. I suggest a new arrangement." "You want to help us?" Samantha asked, skeptically. "We want the truth," Krazak answered, "and 5 billion credits from those who lied to us." Engineer Ortiz, who had been examining the facility's systems, called out excitedly, "Captain, I think this place has defenses. There's some kind of pulse weapon designed specifically to target the parasites." "Can you activate it?" Samantha asked. Ortiz frowned. "Maybe, but I don't understand this technology completely." "I can help," Zorlan offered, its fluid body sliding into a shape better suited for the delicate work. "My species has some similarities to those who built this place." As they worked, Vexillia and Dr. Parker compared notes on the parasite's biology, looking for weaknesses. Officer Adams and Drogmar combined their combat experience to set up defensive positions in case the Queen broke through. Donovan continued, translating, his linguistic skills proving invaluable. Samantha watched the humans and aliens working together, a small smile forming despite her pain. "Look at us," she said to Krazak. "A few hours ago you were hunting us. Now we're fighting side by side." Krazak's scales shifted to a thoughtful blue hue. "In all my years hunting across the galaxy, I have never encountered a species quite like humans. You are physically weak, yet you show strength in ways I never considered important before. Maybe that's why the Keldari fear us," Samantha suggested. "Not because we're dangerous, but because we're different. We see possibilities where they see threats." Another loud crash echoed through the facility. The parasite queen was getting closer to breaking through. "Whatever we're going to do," Adams called out, "we need to do it fast." Ortiz and Zorlan finally activated the ancient defense system. The facility hummed with power that had lain dormant for millennia, ready to face a threat it had been designed to counter long ago. "Everyone get ready," Samantha ordered, standing, despite her injuries. "We're about to find out if we're truly allies." The doors began to buckle as the parasite queen's massive tentacles pried them open inch by inch, ready to face the unexpected combination of galaxy's deadliest bounty hunters and the supposedly dangerous humans, now united against a common enemy. The ancient door finally gave way with a deafening crash. The parasite queen squeezed her massive body through the opening, her tentacles whipping wildly in all directions. The combined group of humans and bounty hunters stood ready, weapons aimed at the monstrous creature. "Now," shouted Engineer Ortiz, activating the defense system. A bright pulse of energy erupted from emitters around the chamber. The light washed over the parasite queen, who writhed and screeched in pain. Her tentacles thrashed violently, smashing into walls and equipment. One swing nearly hit Peter Donovan, but Vexillia pulled him to safety with lightning speed. "It's working," Dr. Parker exclaimed, watching as the queen's exoskeleton began to crack and dissolve. With a final, ear-splitting howl, the massive creature collapsed. Her body shuddered, then lay still. Smaller parasites that had followed her in also fell lifeless, to the ground. The pulse disrupted their neural pathways, Dr. Parker explained, examining a dead parasite. They can't survive without the Queen controlling them. Outside the facility, they could hear the alien natives cheering. The smaller parasites attacking their village had also died when the Queen fell. "We did it," Samantha said, wincing as she stood straighter despite her injured ribs. "But we're not done yet." Krazak nodded in agreement. "The Keldari will know something went wrong when we don't report back soon. They'll send others." Officer Adams checked her weapon. "How much time do we have?" "Not much," Drogmar answered. "Our ship has an automated system that signals the Keldari if we don't check in every 12 hours. That time has nearly passed." The group moved deeper into the facility, away from the dead Queen and the damaged entrance. Engineer Ortiz and Zorlan worked together to access more of the ancient computer systems, while Dr. Parker and Vexlia gathered biological samples from the archive. "This place contains the genetic history of over 300 species," Dr. Parker said in amazement, "including dozens that went extinct thousands of years ago." Donovan studied the ancient text scrolling across a large screen. According to this, the builders of this facility called themselves the Archivists. They traveled the galaxy collecting genetic samples of all intelligent life to preserve biodiversity, and they created the Keldari, Samantha added, looking at another display. Engineered them to help maintain these facilities. Krazak's scales shifted to a dark purple as he read the information. The Keldari were servants who rebelled. They destroyed most of the archivists and their facilities, then rewrote their own history. "They've built their entire empire on a lie," Vexlia said. "Their claims of natural superiority, their position in the council, all based on hiding this truth." A loud alarm suddenly blared through the facility. On a nearby console, a red light flashed urgently. "What's that?" Adams asked, raising her weapon. Zorlan moved quickly to the console, its gelatinous form flowing over the controls. "A proximity alert. A ship has entered orbit." Drogmar checked a small device on his arm. "It's not responding to our identification codes. It's not our ship." "Keldari?" Samantha asked. "Yes," Krazak confirmed grimly. "A destroyer-class vessel. They didn't wait for our report. They came to ensure there would be no survivors." Ortiz looked up from the console he was working on. "They've disabled your ship remotely, and they're jamming all off-world communications." The group fell silent, the weight of their situation sinking in. "They intend to eliminate everyone," Zorlan said. "The humans, the natives, even us. We know too much now." "Why am I not surprised?" Officer Adams muttered. "Never trust an employer who pays half up front." Captain Samantha turned to the bounty hunters. "We need to get off this planet and take this evidence to the Galactic Council. Can we repair your ship?" Krazak considered the question. "If we can reach it, possibly. But the Keldari will have troops on the ground soon. And they'll target this facility first," added Drogmar. Dr. Parker looked distressed. "We can't let them destroy this archive. It's the most important xenobiological discovery in human history. In galactic history." "We need to copy the data," Donovan suggested. "Take it with us." Engineer Ortiz examined the ancient systems. "I think I can download the core database too. Our portable drives, but it'll take time." "Time we don't have," Adams warned, checking a scanner. "I'm picking up multiple dropships entering the atmosphere." Samantha made a quick decision. "Ortiz, start the download. Adams, take Drogmar and secure our exit route. Dr. Parker, you and Vexlia gather any physical samples we can transport. Donovan, keep translating the most critical sections of data. Zorlan, see if you can access the facility's communication. Array, maybe we can break through the jamming." She turned to Krazak. "You and I need to plan our escape route to your ship." The reptilian hunter studied the human captain with newfound respect. Despite her injuries, she remained calm and focused, organizing their defense with practiced efficiency. "You would have made a formidable hunter," Krazak remarked. Samantha smiled slightly. In another life, perhaps. Right now, I just want all of us to survive this one. They gathered around a holographic display of the surrounding terrain. Krazak pointed to a mountain range. Our ship is hidden here, approximately 15 kilometers from this facility. The terrain is difficult, but that will slow down the Keldari forces as well. If we can reach your ship, can it outrun a Keldari destroyer? Samantha asked. Not in a straight chase, Krazak admitted. But I know tricks they don't. If we can make it to the Nystine Nebula, we can lose them in the radiation fields. A distant explosion shook the facility. Dust fell from the ceiling. They're here, Adams called from her position. Multiple enemy units approaching from the north. Ortiz, status on the download? Samantha asked. 30% complete. Need at least 10 more minutes. Krazak drew his weapons, twin energy blades that hummed with power. You'll have your time. Void Talon's defensive positions. The 4 bounty hunters moved with deadly precision, each taking strategic positions to defend the humans as they worked. Officer Adams joined them, her military training complementing their hunting skills. Vexillia looked at Dr. Parker as she prepared for battle. If we survive this, your people and mine should talk more often. Parker nodded, carefully packing genetic samples. I'd like that. There's much we could learn from each other. Another explosion, closer this time, rocked the facility. Through the damaged entrance, they could see Keldari soldiers in crystal armor approaching, heavy weapons at the ready. Download at 50%, Ortiz reported. Samantha checked her own weapon and stood beside Krazak at the front line. So the galaxy's deadliest bounty hunters and a crew of human explorers against an elite Keldari strike force? Krazak's scales rippled with a color Samantha hadn't seen before. A bright, vibrant gold that seemed to indicate excitement. The odds are in our favor, he said, with what appeared to be a reptilian smile. They have no idea what they're walking into. The first Keldari soldiers reached the entrance, and the battle for the ancient archive, and the truth it contained, began. The battle at the entrance of the ancient facility was fierce. Keldari soldiers fired crystalline weapons that shattered against walls and sent dangerous shards flying in all directions. Krazak and Officer Adams took the front positions while Vexillia used her incredible speed to strike from unexpected angles. Drogmar's stone body absorbed hits that would have killed the others, and Zorlan shifted forms rapidly to confuse the attackers. Download at 80%, Engineer Ortiz called from deeper inside the facility. Just a few more minutes. Samantha fired her weapon steadily, dropping another Keldari soldier. We may not have a few minutes. More enemy troops poured in through the entrance. For each one they took down, 2 more appeared. We need a diversion, Krazak decided. He turned to Drogmar. The ceiling supports. The stone alien understood immediately. With a powerful leap, Drogmar smashed into the ancient pillars. Near the entrance, the ceiling began to crack ominously. Everyone fall back, Samantha ordered. The group retreated deeper into the facility as the entrance collapsed, crushing several Keldari soldiers and temporarily blocking the others. That won't hold them long, Adams warned. They have heavy cutting equipment. Download complete, Ortiz announced triumphantly, holding up a small data cube glowing with stored information. I got everything. Dr. Parker finished securing the biological samples in a protected case. These samples prove the archive data is genuine, the complete genetic history of 20 major species, including the Keldari. Time to go, Krazak said. There's a maintenance tunnel on the east side that should lead us away from the main Keldari forces. Peter Donovan approached with a group of native elders who had taken shelter in the facility. What about them? The Keldari will kill them all. Samantha looked at the frightened aliens, then at her crew and the bounty hunters. She didn't hesitate. They come with us. We're not leaving anyone behind to be slaughtered. Krazak's scales shifted colors several times, but he finally nodded. It will slow us down, but it is the right decision. They moved through the dark tunnel, with Vexillia scouting ahead and Drogmar bringing up the rear. The natives followed, quietly, their glowing skin providing gentle illumination in the darkness. After traveling for nearly an hour, they emerged on a hillside overlooking a valley. In the distance, They could see the Keldari dropships and troops searching the area. "Your ship is beyond that ridge," Samantha said, checking the map Krazak had shared. "About 5 kilometers from here. We'll need to cross open ground," Zorlan noted. "We'll be exposed." Dr. Parker was examining one of the natives who had fallen ill during their escape. Suddenly, he looked up with excitement. "I have an idea." "The parasites. They respond to the natives' unique bioelectric field. That's why they were targeted by this attack." "What are you thinking?" Samantha asked. "If we can amplify that field, create a massive signature on the other side of the valley, it might draw the remaining parasites and confuse the Keldari sensors." Engineer Ortiz nodded enthusiastically. "We could modify the communication device from our emergency kit. The frequencies are similar." While they worked, Krazak contacted his ship using a secure channel on his wrist device. "No response," he said grimly. "The Keldari have likely posted guards." "How many can we expect?" Adams asked. "Standard procedure would be 4 to 6 soldiers." Samantha formulated a plan. "Ortiz and Dr. Parker will create the diversion with the natives. The rest of us will split into 2 teams, one to secure the ship, one to escort the natives to safety afterward." Krazak agreed. "Vexillia and I will take point on securing the ship. We are most familiar with its systems." The diversion worked better than they had hoped. When Ortiz activated the modified device, it created a massive bioelectric signature that drew not only the remaining parasites but also several Keldari search parties. Meanwhile, the combined human bounty hunter team made their way to the hidden ship. As expected, 6 Keldari guards were stationed around the Silent Claw. Krazak, Vexillia, and Officer Adams approached silently from different directions. Their coordinated attack was swift and precise. Within minutes, the ship was secured. "Clear," Adams called out. The others hurried aboard with the natives. Engineer Ortiz immediately began working with Zorlan to override the Keldari lockdown codes. "They've done a thorough job," Ortiz muttered. "Encrypted the main drive, locked the navigation system." "Can you fix it?" Samantha asked. "Yes, but it'll take time." A warning alarm blared. On the ship's sensors, they could see the Keldari destroyer moving into position above them. "They're preparing to fire on the surface," Drogmar warned. "They intend to destroy everything." Ortiz worked frantically, his fingers flying across the alien controls. Zorlan flowed partially into the ship's systems, using its unique abilities to bypass security measures. "Got it," Ortiz finally shouted. "We have control." Krazak took the pilot seat. "Everyone secure yourselves. This will not be a gentle ascent." The Silent Claw lifted off, engines straining as it shot upward through the atmosphere. The Keldari destroyer immediately locked weapons on them. "They're firing," Vexillia warned. Krazak executed a series of evasive maneuvers that no ship that size should have been able to perform. Energy blasts from the destroyer narrowly missed them. "We can't outrun them in a straight line," Krazak said. "Prepare for jump to hyperspeed." "The calculations aren't complete," Zorlan protested. "We don't have a safe course." Dr. Parker, looking at the navigation chart, pointed to a section of space. "There, the Nystine Nebula you mentioned. It's rich in radioactive elements that would mask our signature." Samantha studied the readouts. "It's risky. The radiation levels are high." "Not as risky as staying here," Adams noted, as another blast rocked the ship. Krazak made his decision. "Nebula it is. Everyone hold on." The ship lurched forward into hyperspeed, escaping just as the destroyer fired its main weapon. They emerged inside the swirling gases of the Nystine Nebula, temporarily safe from pursuit. In the ship's main cabin, humans, bounty hunters, and natives gathered to assess their situation. "The Keldari will not give up easily," Krazak said. "They cannot allow the truth to reach the Galactic Council." "Then we make sure it does," Samantha replied firmly. "We have the evidence. We need to get to a neutral space station where representatives from other council races can witness it." Peter Donovan, who had been speaking with the native elders, approached. "These people have nowhere to go now. The Keldari will surely destroy their entire planet to cover this up." Engineer Ortiz was examining the data they had saved. This archive doesn't just expose the Keldari, it contains information that could benefit countless species. Medical data, evolutionary paths, extinct species that could potentially be restored. The archivists meant it as a gift to all intelligent life, Dr. Parker added, not as a weapon or a tool for domination. Krazak looked around at the unusual gathering on his ship. Deadly hunters, human explorers, and gentle natives all united by circumstance. For generations my kind has hunted for profit, he said thoughtfully. Perhaps it is time to hunt for truth instead. Fexlia, Drogmar, and Zorlin moved to stand beside him, indicating their agreement. The Void Talons no longer serve the Keldari, Krazak declared. We stand with humanity, and all who seek truth. Captain Samantha extended her hand to the reptilian, Hunter. After a moment's hesitation, he took it in a firm grip. Two unlikely allies, she said with a smile. And new beginnings, Krazak replied. As the Silent Claw navigated through the colorful gases of the nebula, plotting a course to the nearest neutral station, the galaxy's deadliest bounty hunters and their former human targets prepared to change the course of galactic history, together.